Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, in the house. Happy Monday to you guys, man. We got another great show for you tonight, as usual. I'm starting a little early tonight. I got some business I got to take care of later on this evening here on my end. But hey, nonetheless, we got lots to talk about. The Chiefs Kingdom. How you guys feeling today? You drop your last three. It's looking kind of shaky. Are they a playoff team? And this time I'm talking about a Super Bowl team. Are they even a playoff team? I'll give you my thoughts on that. Baker Mayfield, is he the guy? Are the Browns going to fork over a lot of money in this offseason for him? Some of the play calling in this down the stretch in that game yesterday against the Chargers kind of proved that they are not that comfortable with him. I'll give you my thoughts on that as well. The Arizona Cardinals are 5-0, looking strong. That offense is looking decent. I mean, more than decent. The defense is looking very, very, very exciting. So that's interesting as well. The Lakers, Russell Westbrook, 15 turnovers in the last two games. Is that going to be a problem? I think so. And finally, I got my Clutch and Not So Much segment you don't want to miss out. So, hey, sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk live with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing all right, man. Hey, if you don't know who I am, my name is Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, or just aka Mr. Clutch, whatever you want to call me. But hey, welcome. Appreciate you guys joining in on this evening, this fine Monday evening, right before Monday Night Football tonight. We got lots to talk about as usual. But before I do that, make sure if you haven't subscribed to me on my YouTube channel, man, do so. You're not going to regret it. You're going to love everything that you see. And I appreciate all your comments, likes, shares, all that good stuff, man. And if you're in the chat right now, make sure you drop a comment. Tell me what's up. Tell me what you're thinking about, what's going on with you this Monday evening as we break down into the show. So without further ado, man, let's get first things first. Let's get straight into it. Kansas City Chiefs last night, Sunday Night Football. Big test, big game for both teams, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs coming off two losses back to back, starting, a couple weeks ago with the Ravens. They followed that one up with the Chargers losing at home. And then last night they fall to the Buffalo Bills, who look like they're the kings of the AFC. Maybe right now. The Chargers might have something to say about that. But look, one thing's for sure. The kingdom is what they like to call the Chiefs fans. The Chiefs kingdom, it's definitely under siege. It's falling, and it's falling fast. One thing I will say, and I'm guilty of this as well. We've given the Kansas City Chiefs a lot of credit, maybe too much credit, right? And a lot of previews of the seasons. A lot of people have the Chiefs and Buccaneers repeating. Now that may not even happen. Hell, I mean, the Bucs might still have a chance, right? But the Chiefs, I think it's a very slight chance that they're going to make it back. They need to worry about making the playoffs. They're last in the AFC West right now. They're dead last. And I'm not saying that that division is so good, but the Chargers look like they're legit. They're winning close games, right? The Raiders, the Raiders are what the Raiders are. I gave them a little bit of credit the last couple of weeks. They basically just kind of trucked that off now. So they've fallen back down. Denver Broncos, we knew that they weren't really legit. I mean, you lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. Come on. I mean, so, but the road to them getting into the playoffs is not going to be through winning the division. They're going to have to be a wild card, and they're going to have to battle back. Can they do it? I don't know. They got some glaring imperfections on this team. Number one, first thing that stands out is that they are so reliant, overly dependent on Patrick Mahomes making big plays and making big splash plays all the time. And so I think he's kind of getting caught up in that too, where he's making throws, that he doesn't have to make. He's pressing. And when you start pressing like that, guess what happens? Mistakes occur. And that's what's happening. He had a turnover yesterday. In the last three games, he's had very significant turnovers and very crucial keys moments of the game. And that's happened. The second thing is they have no running game. They have no running game whatsoever. I don't even know if they even have any run plays in their playbook. I mean, I'm probably they do. I'm just being facetious, but what I'm saying is that they do not possess the ability to run the ball effectively and efficiently, right? Buffalo Bills, listen, I mean, look, it's not like they were running the ball crazy, but at least Josh Allen could run the ball if he needs to. I mean, I think he rushed for like 54 yards yesterday, which is pretty good for the quarterback position, which I don't personally want my quarterback rushing for that many yards, but hey, he can do that, right? And the third thing is that they can't stop anybody. Their defense is, I think, dead last in points per game and yards per game. Like, they cannot stop anybody. Buffalo Bill tight ends, wide receivers were running down the field wide open. I don't, granted, they were missing Chris Jones, one of their better interior defensive linemen. Frank Clark did return, but listen, they don't get after the quarterback. They can't stop the run, and they can't stop the pass. I think the notion that their offense is so good that it doesn't matter how many points the defense gives up, Patrick Mahomes and that offense can lead them back. It's done. That window is closed. Teams have caught up to them. You've seen, especially in their division, Justin Herbert, the Chargers, they can score a boatload of points too. So they're never out of games either. And their defense is a lot more formidable than the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Stephen A had a really hot take this morning on his show, First Take, and he said that it's over for them. It's done. Maybe they make the playoffs. And even so, I think, Patrick Mahomes needs to go back into the lab. He needs to retool himself. First of all, he's got to get his family straightened out. I mean, his brother, his wife, they're doing all this crazy stuff on social media. That's kind of distracting as well. But nonetheless, on the football field, he's got to get back to work. Andy Reid's got to get back to work. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, they've got to get back to work. Because, look, the NFL is very unforgiving. And I don't know who they got next, but I don't know who they have next. But you've lost 3 in a row, 2 at home against playoff caliber teams that we think, or the last 3 games are playoff caliber teams because you include the Baltimore Ravens. You're going to have to see at least the Ravens or the Bills at least one more time in your own side of the playoff bracket, right? In the AFC. And the Bills, that was a big statement. And now they're going to downplay and say, well, it's only week 5. Listen, I said on my show yesterday, NFL Sunday Morning, that was a game they needed to win. They had to win that game to prove, for me, I'm still of a doubter. I'm not saying that they're ready to win the Super Bowl today, because I still think there's some other teams that can compete with them from an offensive standpoint that are well more balanced. Hint, hint, the Dallas Cowboys, right? You guys get that on camera, right? So that's a balanced team. I'm not going to talk about them today, but I'm going to give flowers to the Buffalo Bills. They did a great job. They were more physical. They just attacked them way better. Josh Allen looked really good. Their defense was strong, and they basically limited the amount. And here's the funny stat. The Chiefs had more possession of the football. They had about 74 plays on offense, where the Bills only had like 53, 55. So they had more opportunities to score, but they couldn't. And the defense that Leslie Frazier inputted last night is pretty much the blueprint on how to slow down the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if my NFL Game Pass ever gets back working again correctly, maybe I might do something about what teams are doing against the Kansas City Chiefs. So for basically what I'm going to point out is that they're keeping 2 high safeties. They're not letting you let Tyreek Hill beat you deep, and they're gonna take some chances with Travis Kelce. They're gonna have whoever's covering him jam him at the line, hold him. And if they get a penalty, they're willing to live with that. But what they will not live with is Tyreek Hill throwing up the deuces on a 45, 75-yard bomb from Patrick Mahomes. That they will not allow. If you're going to score on any team, if you're going to allow the Chiefs to score on you, they're going to have to really methodically bring the ball up the field. That's the only way. And they're so impatient at this point that's when they start to kind of get out of their game and they just start doing dumb things. So that defense, credit, Tampa Bay Buccaneers they kind of got this going last year in the Super Bowl. Teams are adopting that particular defense, and it's working. So that's when Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, all the offensive-minded guys in that franchise, they need to go back into the offices, into the lab, and they need to figure out basic things. Like, we just need to get the ball to our good guys. We can't always go deep with Tyreek Hill, but this is where the run game comes into factor. If you got 2 high safeties, obviously you should be running the football. That's just common sense. You should be running the football if there's 2 high safeties, but they're not even doing that. They're still trying to force it deep. They're still trying to, to hang in the pocket. They're waiting for Mahomes to make something out of nothing, to be magical. Patrick Mahomes is still an outstanding quarterback, one of the best, if not the best, still in the National Football League. I'm not saying that he's garbage, but right now as a team, they are not hitting on all cylinders, and that defense is not even average anymore. They are below average, and you can't have a team that doesn't run the football, they make mistakes, and have a below average defense and expect to return to a Super Bowl, yet alone make the playoffs. So Chiefs, I'm not there yet counting you out, but I've been on record saying that I think that without Patrick Mahomes, they are not even a playoff team. The only thing saving them right now is Patrick Mahomes. And unfortunately, it's not working for him right now. So he's got to get right in order for the Chiefs to get right on their own. And then they can maybe make a run, hopefully try to get into the playoffs. But right now, it's not looking good. I believe they're 2-3 now, 2-3 on the season. And I don't know who they got next. So, but listen, they're definitely under siege there, and they need to be really thinking about what they're going to be doing next in order to get the ship right over there in Kansas City. So that's what I got on that. All right. Cleveland Browns, they were favored yesterday afternoon in Inglewood against the LA Chargers. Now, they ended up falling to the Chargers in a very close game. Some questionable calls down the stretch that did not go in for the Cleveland Browns, but there were some things down the stretch that kind of caught my attention in regards to Kevin Stefanski's confidence in Baker Mayfield. There was a 3rd and 10 play, I think, towards the end of the game, I would say. And I think if you get this, if you get the first down, you take some more time off the clock. It doesn't allow the Chargers, who Justin Herbert is the deal. I mean, he's got to be up there for MVP. But anyway, what do the Cleveland Browns and Kevin Stefanski do on that 3rd and 10? They run the football. Now, experts or some say, well, maybe they were trying to catch Chargers defense off guard by running the ball on a 3rd and 10 play. Nah, man. Nah, I don't think so. I firmly believe if you have a quarterback that you believe in, that you believe is your franchise quarterback, you don't throw the ball on 3rd and 10 in a situation. Basically, if you convert, you probably win the game. Like on paper, I mean, I thought the Browns controlled that game for the most part. Their defense got shredded, but a lot of teams' defenses get shredded when they play Justin Herbert, right? So that's not taking away from them, right? But Baker Mayfield, there were some opportunities where I felt like he just did not hit on all cylinders. And I don't know if that's part of OBJ coming back, because you look last year on OBJ missed the remainder of the season. He went on this tear, and during this tear, people were like, "Oh my God, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's this and he's that," right? OBJ comes back into the lineup. He struggles last week against Minnesota. Kind of struggles a little bit towards the end of the game, if not most of the game yesterday. And then on 3rd and 10, Kevin Stefanski doesn't even have the gall to say, you know what, we need a first down and let's get it. Don't even do it. Baker Mayfield is in a contract year, if I'm not mistaken. The Cleveland Browns have a very, very interesting situation. I think this is worse than the Dak Prescott situation, because at least we had more on Dak, right? Baker Mayfield had a really good year last year, right? Towards the end, right? Started slow, finished off really strong. Boom. Baker Mayfield, I'm not saying he's a bust, because well, I'll tell you, in regards to being a number 1 overall pick, yes, I would say so. Justin Herbert looks more like a number 1 overall pick, and he wasn't. People passed over him, aka a la the Dolphins, who took Tua Tagovailoa, right? How's that working out for you, Miami? 1-4, right? Baker Mayfield, he can play in the league. I'm not saying he's all the way trash. He can play in the league. He can be a starting quarterback. Now, is he a franchise quarterback? Well, that's kind of hard. I don't know. It's really hard to see him being that guy. Now, a lot of teams have guys, but maybe they're not the guy. So who knows? But is he going to be worth the money that he's going to be garnering in this offseason? No, he's not. And most quarterbacks are not worth the money, right? I mean, there's a very selective few guys. Even Dak. Some people complained about that. Now, I thought Dak was worth the money just because of what he has to deal with being the Cowboys quarterback, right? It's not just on the field. It's all the stuff that he has to deal with, because he gets more scrutiny than a lot of other quarterbacks that play on other teams. But nonetheless, Baker Mayfield, look, I think he's a product of the system, and some people could say Dak is that, but I think this year and even last year before he got hurt, you can see the difference, right? You can see him moving the ball around. He's getting the ball he threw 4 touchdowns yesterday to 3 guys. Come on. That's ball. He's spreading the ball around. Baker Mayfield is very blessed to have a strong running game. In all honesty, Baker Mayfield's situation is kind of close to Dak's 2016 rookie year, where he had a great offensive line. He had a great running back. The defense wasn't that great, But look, Baker Mayfield's got the defense and he's got weapons. I mean, look, I know Juice Landry didn't play. You still got OBJ. You still got David Njoku. You got Austin Hooper. You got Chubb. You got Hunt. You got guys, David Peoples-Jones. You have targets to throw to. But for whatever reason, it's just not working. Now, he's going to ask for a lot of money. And if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm probably like, nah, man, I think I believe in the system more than the player. Now, this next drop, this class of quarterbacks coming out of college ain't the best. It's not really. I mean, Spencer Rattler was the front runner. Like we saw what happened to him this Saturday. He got benched basically for another true freshman. So he's probably going to be looking to get out of Oklahoma or who knows, whatever, right? The rest of the guys, I mean, you might have a Matt Corral out of Ole Miss who could probably play in the NFL. He can throw, right? But undersized. Who else? You got the kid from Liberty. I forgot his name. Malachi Williams or Malik Williams. I forgot his name. But the quarterback for Liberty College University. So you don't have a surefire number one quarterback, right? That's not the case. But if you believe in Kevin Stefanski, you believe in the system, all you need is a guy, right? A guy that can go in and manage the game, not turn the ball over, make a couple plays here and there. You can maybe hold off until you can maybe get into position to get one of these top guys. But if you're winning games, you're not going to be picking very high in the draft. So it's kind of a conundrum. It really is. Because, look, if you're Kevin Stefanski, he probably believes in what he's doing. And I believe in what they're doing. I think they can still compete right now in the AFC. But I don't know, at some point, you do need that guy under center to be special in order to win in the league. You can't, the days of like the Trent Dilfers, guys that won Super Bowls, or Brad Johnsons, guys that weren't necessarily really, really great players, great quarterbacks, but they were like complementary to what they had on the team. I think those days are over, man. I think you have to be in the top 5, top 6, maybe top 8 of quarterbacks in order to really get to that next level in winning the Lombardi. So is Baker Mayfield that guy? I don't think he's even a top 10 quarterback right now today, right? So if you're the Browns, you have to take that in consideration, and you have to say, you know what? We'll offer you because we do like you, but we're not going to give you this. And I know what the market dictates, but you're not getting that money because exactly what have you done? You haven't won a division yet for us, have they? No, I don't think they have won a division for them yet, right? At least other quarterbacks, you can say Dak has won the division. He's owned a division. He's been in a playoff game. They had a good run last year, but still, if I'm the Browns, you have to really start considering what you're doing with Baker Mayfield, because you're not trying to pay out. You're not trying to shell out this money for this guy, because it's going to take away from the rest of the team that you can probably use. And I just think that he's pretty basic at this point. And I think you can get pretty much any guy, not anybody, but someone that's responsible, who can still play and won't turn the ball over, and you could still have some success in Cleveland at this point. So I don't know. That's going to be very interesting to see towards the rest of the season what they do with Baker Mayfield, how he plays. How does he bounce back? If it's me, I'm probably trading OBJ. I ain't going to lie. I'm watching that game and I'm like, I get it. This is like his second or third game back or whatever. He does not look like that. And I could be wrong, but he just does not look like that dude anymore. He just doesn't, So maybe it's because where he's at, he doesn't want to really be there per se. Just trade him. Get what you can get for him, whether it's a draft pick or maybe another piece that you want. I don't know. But he's a commodity. I would say go out and trade him. But that's just me talking. So I don't know. Speaking of talking and playing, Arizona Cardinals are 5-0. 5-0. Now, it was a close game yesterday against the San Francisco 49ers with Trey Lance getting his start, right? But they still took care of business at home. They won 17-10 against the Niners, and they are in first place, and they have that, pretty much not in grasp or in hand, because they still got some games against the Rams they got to play. Seattle, they got to play again. So, but look, the Cardinals are looking really good. Now, we knew the offense was going to be good, right? You got Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. They added AJ Green. A lot of people are kind of, lifted their nose up. Oh, AJ Green. And I was like, well, look, yeah, he's not AJ Green for like way back when, right? But he's still formidable, right? He'll still beat you. He's still kind of like that dude, right? Older, have a little injury history, but you don't need him to be AJ Green of 2012. You need him to be, or whatever he was drafted. You need him to be what he is now in order to complement. And then they even got the kid, Rondale Moore from Purdue, who's looking really nice too. and the way they use him as well. James Conner is a serviceable running back, so they're okay there. But it's their defense. Budda Baker, J.J. Watt, Isaiah Simmons, guys that are stepping up and playing some football, right? Their defense is really good. They're legit. They are legit. Um, you know, they had the big win yesterday, the week before against the Rams, the way they throttled the LA Rams, like literally they beat the doors off the LA Rams. So, the Rams are they're gonna try to get their get back, which is rightfully so. But I think that as long as Kyler Murray stays healthy, right? Most of these teams, if your quarterback goes down, they're pretty much screwed. But as long as Kyler Murray can stay healthy, this team can go do some things because now they got the defensive side of the ball kind of figured out for the most part. With Chandler Jones rushing, JJ Watt's he's not that dude anymore, but he can still apply effective pressure. And that's all you need at this point from him, right? Effective pressure. You got other guys out there that can go and get some sacks, right? As long as he's getting up the field, applying pressure, moving quarterbacks off their spots, that's what you're paying him to do at this point. You got Chandler Jones on the other side, and you let guys like Isaiah Simmons, who are hybrid linebackers / safeties that can blitz. Budda Baker's an excellent blitzer. He's a great quarterback on the back end and the secondary. This defense is playing good. Vance Joseph is doing a tremendous job for the Arizona Cardinals, and I like them. I mean, I know I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but look, I got to give credit when credit's due, and they're exciting to watch. Like, I literally love watching Arizona Cardinals. I've always said it. If I lived a little bit closer, man, I wouldn't mind getting season tickets just to root them on because I like that organization, man. I like the only thing I would say they need to upgrade their uniforms, but that's just me. But anyway, this team this is a legit 5-0 team. Now they could have lost to Minnesota. They should have lost to Minnesota. The kicker blew that. But look, man, even if they did lose that game, they're still 4-1. That's a legit team. Now we're only about a quarter through the season. They still got a long road ahead of them. Now we got the extra game. But listen, this team is for real. When they went to LA and beat the Rams, that let me know that they were ready to come to the table and eat with the big dogs. Those are big games you need to go and win. And every now, it's the National Football League. You're going to get into some close games. It's going to happen. These are professionals you're playing, right? And I know you look at teams like the Jags and the Texans. Oh, that's an easy win. Look, nothing's easy in the National Football League. It's not college. It's not high school. It's not youth football. These guys are getting paid to play, and their jobs are on the line. So whether a team is 0-12, 12-0, you're going to get their best shot. And we've seen that time and time again. And I'm rooting for the Cardinals to do some good, not when they play the Cowboys in December, because we should get that win. And we'll see where the teams are at that point, because I believe that's late in both of our seasons. So we'll see how that goes. But, I can't say much more about the Arizona Cardinals. That they keep doing what they're doing. I'm going to be watching them. Kyler Murray, arguably, again, him and Justin Herbert, MVP candidates all the way. But if I had to pick, I don't know, man, because Herbert can run too. We know what Kyler can do with the football. So I'm going to have to dedicate another show to that, maybe in the next couple of weeks, and see where we're at there. So, all right, moving off at NFL, I want to talk about NBA. Yes, I haven't talked about NBA in quite some time. And when I do, I want it to be meaningful. I'm just talking about random stuff. I want to talk about the Lakers. Yes, the LA Lakers, the preseason has not been looking good for them right now. Russell Westbrook trying to kind of get a hold of the offense. He's had 15 turnovers in the last 2 games in the purple and gold. When interviewed last night after their loss to the Phoenix Suns in a preseason matchup, someone asked him, hey, about the turnovers. He just kind of like, well, hey, it's the preseason. They don't really count. Well, I think it does kind of count. Maybe in the stat sheet, yeah, it doesn't count. But I think it does count because you're going to take those habits and it's going to translate. Now, when Russell Westbrook was traded there, a lot of people were excited. A lot of people like myself kind of were like, it's cool. Like, it works, maybe. I don't know. But how does it work? Because he's not really a true point guard, right? We all know that watch basketball, especially Laker fans. LeBron James is the point guard. He's the point guard. When he's on the court, he's basically the de facto point guard on the court. Now, in some sense, this is where I think it can work, because there's nights where LeBron's not going to play, or maybe we all know LeBron chooses. He picks and chooses his points. He's not the guy that's going to give you 100% every night, whether you're playing the Miami Heat, the world champ Bucks, or I don't know, the the Orlando Magic, right? He's not that guy. He's not going to give you. He doesn't have the Mamba mentality, right? AD is probably going to be shut down a couple of nights because they were trying to preserve him, right? Because we see how brittle he is. He's not going to play a full season. You add Carmelo, you add Russell Westbrook, who can give you some scoring, because that's the problem with the Lakers in the past, is that when LeBron or AD is not on the court, they lack the scoring because Kuzma never stepped up, so he had to go. The other guys that they had there, you know, Caruso was a nice player. Will he be missed? As a fan favorite, yeah, but was he like a guy that's going to go and give you 15 and 10 a night? No, he's not that guy, right? You need a guy like a Russell Westbrook to, he's a machine. One thing I will say about Russell Westbrook, he still is in that old school mindset that he's going to go hard every night for the most part. He don't pick and choose. He picks and chooses if he's going to be a dick or not, right? And most often than not, he's going to be a dick. That's his ball. That's his game. That's his style. So, in regards to the turnovers, will this all work? I don't know, man. I think it's still. I think you take the preseason lightly? Yes and no. I think they haven't really had a lot of success. Granted, LeBron hadn't really played. AD hadn't played a lot. Russell Westbrook, this was only his second game in the purple and gold. They're still trying to work some things out. With the talent on our team, they will win games. Now, the time when we'll know when it'll work, when they're playing really good teams like the Suns. The Suns are a good team. They show that. The Milwaukee Bucks, that's a good team. Denver Nuggets, if they can stay healthy, that's a good team, right? Because outside, and I'll throw the Jazz in there, right? Let's throw the Jazz. And that's pretty much it in the West. There's some other cute teams right there. The Clippers, maybe, depends on how Kawhi is feeling and when he wants to play too. So he's going to miss a lot of the season too because he just had surgery. So that's another thing you have to worry about them. But as far as the main three, AD, LeBron, and Russell Westbrook, I think maybe they had a long conversation, and Russell Westbrook is not looking to be the true point guard. He's looking to score and make plays and dunk and talk shit. That's what he's there to do, right? LeBron is looking for someone to help defer the offense to, because sometimes you can't always throw it down in the post. You can't always get it to the block. And this will be real. I think sometimes AD forgets he's a center or a big man, right? He likes to play around the perimeter a lot. The one problem with this Laker team is that they still don't have shooting. You got to have shooting in the NBA, in the modern NBA. Now, they got lucky and they didn't have the shooting that they needed to have in the bubble. They caught on a hot streak, but they made threes when they needed to. Guys like Rondo made some big threes. KCP, who's no longer there, he made some big threes in that bubble playoff, but they don't have shooters. They just don't have any guys that are just legit shooters. And I think in the end, that's going to be their downfall, which is very surprising because LeBron's teams usually have that one 3-point specialist kind of guy, and they don't have that. They don't have that. So I'm slightly concerned that they're just kind of, scoffing off the preseason, and and I get it. These guys have been in the league a lot. They've been to multiple NBA All-Stars. They got a bunch of minutes logged in playoff seasons and whatever, right? I get it, right? But you have to be humbled a little bit too. And maybe he is behind closed doors, but in front of the media, he's kind of like, oh, whatever, I'm too cool for school type of deal, right? But nonetheless, it's still too early to tell if this is all going to work. They'll win a lot of games because you got LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook, right? That's more. Those guys alone are worth, at an 82 season game, they're worth at least 55 to 60 games. Just those three alone. So they're going to win a lot of basketball games. But will it matter in crunch time when you're playing other good, solid teams in the playoff? Talk to me back maybe around the mid-year or maybe close to the playoffs, and I'll kind of let you know. We'll continue to follow Lakers because they're newsworthy, but nothing much more I can say about that. Let me know what you guys think, man, in the comment section. What's your thoughts on that? You think the Lakers, is it going to work? Is it just too much of these old guys out there? I don't know, but I don't know. I definitely want to know what you guys are thinking about in regards to the Lakers. So, all right. Last thing before I get out of here, I always do this weekly. My clutch are not so much. Basically, what this is stuff that happens throughout the sporting world over the weekend. People that came through with maybe a big play or coaching job, or people that were just boneheads, or they blew a lead, or they did something so stupid that they weren't clutch. So I've started doing this for the last month or so. I kind of like it. It's kind of funny. But first things first, I want a big shout out to Caleb Williams and the Oklahoma Sooners. They won the Cotton Bowl. For those of you who've never had the opportunity to be a part of or live in this area, this is one of the biggest college football rivalries, man. It's electric. Now, this games get played in the Cotton Bowl, the original Cotton Bowl, not in Jerry's World, the original Cotton Bowl that holds like 90,000 people, right? It's a great venue. and the pageantry, because where it's located in the Texas State Fair area in Dallas, Texas. Um, it's just it's a great atmosphere, right? I recommend, if you ever have the opportunity, if you're ever in that area around this time of year, this game is always played around October and September. Um, Check it out, right? And the State Fair, get your turkey leg. But nonetheless, clutch moment for Oklahoma Sooners and Caleb Williams. And why Caleb Williams? Well, because he's a true freshman that replaced Spencer Rattler. Now, he was getting his name chanted a couple weeks ago in Norman because fans were tired of Spencer Rattler and his shit, right? Now, he took over. He leads Oklahoma back to victory. They were down like 20-something points in the second half. Leads them back. They win. Boomer Sooner. Shout out to them. Clutch moment for the University of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooners. All right. Not so clutch. University of Texas. How do you blow a 28-7 lead? I don't know. Just beyond me. A lot of people think Texas football is back. Now, they have the number 2 recruiting class going into next year. They've always had top recruiting classes. I don't think that's the problem. Do they have the quarterback? College football is very quarterback-driven based. For those of you who don't follow college football, it's very quarterback-driven based. You got to have a legit quarterback. If you don't, you ain't nothing, right? They don't think they got the guy, right? So, but they're 4-2 now. They were 4-1 going into this game. Are they back? No, they're not back. You're not back until you beat Oklahoma and you win the Big 12 and you play in the playoff like Oklahoma does consistently, right? So, not clutch for them. Clutch, Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champ, man. He went 11 rounds with Deontay Wilder. Look, I watched this fight. Great fight. It was exciting. Deontay Wilder has no business in the ring with Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder has one trick, and that's that right hand. He's looking to throw that right hand the whole night, and that's what he tried to do. And Tyson Fury took his shots. I mean, he did knock him down twice in one round, but other than that, Tyson Fury controlled that fight. Tyson Fury is a remarkably very athletic man, especially when you look at him. You don't think that, but very athletic, and he's a tremendous boxer, which something Deontay Wilder will never be. And I know before the fight, he was training. He was trying to increase his power. He should have been increasing your footwork, because you're not going to beat a guy with one trick like Tyson Fury. You got to be able to move your feet. You got to be able to box, throw other things other than the right hand. And that's what Deontay Wilder tried to do the whole night. It didn't work out. I give him props. He has heart, because he took some shots. But at the end of the day, didn't want to shake hands, said he didn't respect Tyson Fury. Like, come on, man, grow up. Be the bigger man and give the man his props. He's beaten you basically 3 times at this point. I don't really want to see a 4th fight. There's no reason to see a 4th fight, because we all know what's going to happen, unless remarkably Deontay Wilder gets his brain snatched and he comes back a better boxer, which I highly doubt that. So, shout out to Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champ. All right. And last thing before I get out of here, USC football. I am so done with USC football right now. They suck. They absolutely suck. They get blown out at home. And I'm really mad about this, because I'm from LA. I'm born and raised in LA. I grew up down the street from the University of South Central, aka University of Southern California, the Trojans, right? They suck. They just suck. They're undersized. Who runs the air raid anymore? And this whole thing with the air raid with Graham Harrell, it doesn't work, man. It just doesn't work. I'm just over it. And my boy Key, facts about SC. Yeah, I'm just over USC. I'm just done with them. I was telling my cousin who just commented, we need to go out and get Urban Meyer, man. Like, I know he's grinding with blondes and bars, but we need a guy like that. Urban Meyer is a legendary Hall of Fame college coach. We need a guy like that. Simple as that. So and there's some other guys out there, Luke Fickell, Cincinnati, there's some other guys. He mentioned Joe Brady. I think might be good. I think Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, who won a national championship with Joe Burrow and LSU, he would be good, because he's still young enough. He knows the college, the landscape and everything. But I think he wants to stay in the NFL. Urban Meyer is trying to get out of Jacksonville, and I would gladly take him to at least inject some life into this program in Southern California, because right now they got these kids that are like, who think their shit don't stink, but they're getting blown out by Utah. Never in my life, like, I grew up watching the Trojans when they were in their heyday. Never in my life would I have ever seen them get blown out by Utah or pushed to the brink by like a UNLV or a San Jose State. This is what's happening to USC football. Now, is it a great job? Yeah, it's still a great job. It's in LA. Any job in LA is pretty good in regards to collegiate or professional sports. It's a great job. It's hella expensive, but it's a great job. Now, James Franklin is another guy. I heard Anthony Lynn, the former Chargers coach. Nah, man, we need somebody that's going to come in and recruit the hell out of some of these kids. And they can say, you know what? I've won. I've won at Utah. I went to Florida. I went to Ohio State. I built those programs up. Now, Urban may not last very long, but at least he'll bring in some guys, right, that can help him carry out that legacy when he does leave in about 2 years, because something's going to happen, right? So at this point, I'm willing to get anybody in there. Clay Helton was a nice guy. He probably needs to go coach like Faith Lutheran or some school, some Christian school somewhere. And no offense to any parochial school like that, but he's a nice guy. He's not built for USC. USC is a different type of environment. It's glitz, it's glamour, it's in the heart of downtown LA, close to it. We need football to be better in USC, and that's it. I'm gonna get off my pulpit for that, because if not, it makes me mad, because I'm a USC fan, but I kind of just gotta let them go. I just gotta let them go until they can show me something. So anyway, man, that's all I got. I gotta roll. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you guys hit me up on YouTube, man. Subscribe, man. Hit the notification link. That way you know everything that goes on with Clutch Sports Talk, man, with me, Ryan Flowers, man. You're gonna enjoy it. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit me up on my next telecast on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. with my Clutch Sports Talk NFL Sports Morning. I'll break down not all the games. I try to break down some of the games. I give you my picks, man. I'm getting killed in these picks, man. I don't even want. I'm embarrassed to say. You'll have to watch on Sunday and let you know what my record is. It ain't good right now. I'm getting killed, but anyway, I'll bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Last time I took a L, but tomorrow I bounce back. Whatever. Big Sean, shout out to him. But anyway, man, I gotta go. It's been a pleasure. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, guys.